Based on its musicality, the characters will often break out into song or dance in the middle of a scene, whether that be a power ballad from the 80s or an up-tempo pop number from last week. However, it does break the convention by showing planned performance that normally end an episode, making their own convention. Most of the episodes end with a cliffhanger. Additionally, episodes end with a performance which highlights a character's issue that was presented in the show. Hyper-postmodern media culture. According to Valerie Wee, Glee can be defined as a hyper-postmodern media culture. This is converging of many different generic influence and intertextual references. The series can be said to be read and enjoyed by multiple and diverging ways. However, the narrative does not play a major part in Glee. The mashup of genres can possibly be enough to call the show postmodern. The specific episode, The Power of Madonna, used both intertextual references and pastiche of Madonna, with the remake of her old classics and her own issues causing a certain type of mashup. This is the mix between talent and ethos of romance and loving someone, for example in the scene Like a Virgin. Meta-narrative. In most postmodern texts, there is an apparent rejection of a certain meta-narrative. This is a story about a story as introduced by John Letard. In postmodernity, in general, there is no such thing as black and white, good versus evil, heaven and hell, and so on and so forth. In Glee, we are introduced to a character called Puck. He is portrayed in the earlier episodes of the show as a football player who bullies other students. Although the audience view him as a bully, we do not dislike his personality. The character's actions portray him as a villain, however the audience do not treat him as such, therefore rejecting the idea of a bigger picture as to why he acts the way he does. Plurality. This can be defined in terms of postmodernism when a certain text has multiple stories and multiple identities. When looking at specific characters or episodes, the character of David in Season 2, Episode 8 comes to our attentions. In the episode, the audience began to question the character's sexuality. This character greatly represents purity because just like Puck, he acts a certain way but is hiding a very deep secret representing his multiple identity. Rejection of a meta-narrative appears throughout, with specific attention being paid to homosexuality. Throughout, the audience is exposed to homosexuality, with one of the characters honouring this. This is done to push the idea of homosexuality as the norm. Nostalgia or pastiche. As previously mentioned, Glee use a lot of pastiche in their episodes, often paying homage to certain time periods, works or people. For example, dedicating an entire episode to Madonna or Grease. They often use all the key concepts such as camera, sound, editing and mise-en-scene to ensure they do not make a mockery but honouring the culture. Nostalgia is also an aspect that make the programme postmodern. Many of the songs in the show are ones from the past. This is highly down to the character of Will Schuester, Glee Club director, who longs recreating songs from the past. It is also to introduce and honouring a time that many people of the generation think is dead, but Glee twist it round so they can engage a younger audience with music that can be said to be old.